Okay, thank you all of you for watching this screening about documentary A Cambodian Spring. Um, Cambodia always happened suffering again and again, more and more. You start from Khmer Rouge regime, so 1975 until 79, over 3 million people were killed. During that time, Cambodia, they call democracy of Cambodia, politics also. So the name still democracy. But just the name democracy, but when the politics, not democracy, is a communist regime. And the dictator of the leader, the politics, until now, the leader of Cambodia the same, Khmer Rouge regime, because if the president right now is the former of Khmer Rouge army. No study, no school, but can become to the prime minister until now because of installed by the Vietnam army. When they go to invasion Cambodia after Khmer Rouge regime, 79 until 91. But after the Paris Peace Agreement, 23rd October in Paris, so democracy country signed agreement, including United States, United Nations also, bring democracy to Cambodia again. So Cambodia start vote election in 1993. So the first time of Khmer people that they go to vote, and then they vote for Chang already. Chang from the ruling party, CPP. Chang from Prime Minister Hun Sen to the new leader is Phun Sunpak party, is opposition party also. But when opposition party win, they not give the power. Ruling party not give the power. They control army, weapon, everything, and take the power from who win the opposition party. And then Cambodia, they have 2 prime minister. What is mean democracy? 2 prime minister. Number 1, number 2. But who held the power? Number 2. Second Prime Minister Hun Sen held the power. The number 1, just number 1, but don't have power. Just win the vote, but no power. And then they cheat the win, used by weapon, violence, shooting, killing. So many people were killed. Including the minister of the opposition party. And then they take the power, control the power, and control everything, including national committee, vote election, court, army, everything, and then organize the vote election again and again by government, by ruling party. So like this, not free and fair election. So because of politics, leader, because of politics violence, because of they not respect the real democracy, real human rights, real peace, like this, that always happen violent, injustice, corruption, prohibition. As you know, in the screening, because of politics conflict. But right now, is a very big problem than this problem in screening. This screening just 2015, from 2009 to 2015. But 2016, 17, You know, the Cambodia, they go to vote for Chang again, start from 2013. So this is that many voter, Khmer people, especially the young people, young Hmong student, yeah, they go to vote for Chang. So we Chang already, Chang from the vote. Because Chang like this, that the ruling party, they cheat again. Cheat the same 1993. But before they not the lead opposition party, they just control power. But right now, they kill democracy, kill independent media, independent NGO, including kill opposition party, destroy everything from Cambodia. Not allow opposition party join for vote election again in 2018. 2018 is a vote election 29 July, but right now no opposition. Why? Because people, the Khmer people go to vote for Chang for opposition party already. For example, the commune and district election in 2017. In my homeland, you know, 100% Chang all. 33 years ago, they were Chang. The commune chief, district chief, always ruling party control. But 2017, the Khmer people in my homeland, one district, 12 commune, Chang all, and one province, 99% Chang all. Because of Chang like this, they cheat the Chang, cheat the vote election, and also cheat the democracy, and then they kill democracy from Cambodia. So this is what is mean democracy. What is Paris Peace Agreement that Cambodia signed with United Nations, signed agreement with any democracy country to following democracy country. But right now, no following, no respect democracy, and then they just gambling, just cheating. So the vote election 2018, maybe two months more. So right now, no democracy country support. European Union, United Nations also not support. Only China support right now. And the government, they said, good, China support is very good because they said China is a good friend. So like this, they support the vote election. But what support vote election because China never vote. And China is a communist country, not democracy country. So they not respect democracy country like this that make Cambodian poor. The nation is destroy everything. You know, the natural resource right now controlled by China company, Vietnam company, and land concession for eviction because of corruption, because of politics like this that make Cambodia suffering. So we need to call for all the democracy country in the world, especially United Nations or Paris Peace Agreement country. So please go to hell to save democracy in Cambodia again, because 25 years ago, not easy to join, to develop, to build democracy. You know, many people were killed, many people in jail, many people escape from Cambodia. Why? Because of to join, to help, to save democracy in Cambodia. So this is the people and the money, you know, $1 billion from donor country to help to build democracy in Cambodia. Start only one vote election in 1993, $3 billion. $3 billion to organize vote election. So 25 until now, one week Chang already. One Khmer people before don't know, don't understand what is mean democracy, what is mean human rights. I never known, including the documentary like this also. When I meet Chris the first time, I don't know also. When Chris permission me, oh, can I follow you to make a documentary? I said, what documentary? He explained me documentary like this, like that, and I learned from him. So this is documentary about Cambodia. But me as a filmmaker also, but small film, small film in the community only. Why? Because I'm start from to become a human right in Cambodia because of the phone, the smartphone. But before not smart, just old phone, but can film the real evidence, real news also. So in Cambodia, always they afraid camera, afraid journalists, especially afraid smartphone. Cambodia. Why? Because they want to keep everything, TV, radio, newspaper, they never publish, never broadcasting the real news. So like this, like that, they never play on the TV. Only smartphone that we can film it, we can sell it, share it, and to change the people from the confused the news to see the real news. Only social media. Because I see the real news like this, that Cambodia understand democracy. And then they hungry, very hungry to see real democracy, to see real peace, real development. So when they understand clearly, they want to change. And they change already. Change from the vote already like this, ruling party start crack down again and again to control everything. Before held opposition party, now kill opposition party. They accuse from the court, the leader of opposition party, they accuse destroy the nation because of make friendly with the United States to bring democracy to Cambodia. So what is the mean? Because Cambodia signed agreement to protect democracy. So because of politics like this that make suffering, including the Buddhism, not independent, controlled by politics. Mang minister, mang police, mang police, all of them is a politician. But when they accuse me, opposition mang, politician of opposition party. Why? All of them have modern car, comfortable salary, have the power, everything, and then they accuse me just have only one camera, one smartphone, politician. They arrested, make violence against me, but the first time, only one man in Cambodia, only me, stand up first to join with the people, and then 1 year, 2 year, 1 year, 2 year, 100, and then 1,000. 1,000 months start from 2013. And then right now, the month 99% support my activity, and also they go to vote for change also. But some months still afraid when they join speaking, join doing like me, they still afraid because when doing like me, no temple to stay. They for eviction from the temple, Buddhist temple, and then they ban not allow to stay in temple. So like this, not easy for the monk to help the people. So everything in Cambodia is a politics control like this that make Cambodia destroy everything. But Cambodia, is a good country, good people. We have civilization, culture, especially Angkor Wat Temple is the number 1 for tourism in the world. If good leader, good government, is not corruption, Cambodia not poor. Only 15 million people. Only 15. But after Khmer regime killed, only 6 million. Only 6 million in 1979. But until now, 15 million. people. So still poor, still suffering like this because of politics. Yeah. Long, too long.
Thank you. So a question for you, Chris, then. One of the themes which really comes through in the film, and also what the Venerable Sovath said just now, is representation, right? So who's representing the community? How do you represent stories through documenting them? And so what was for you, well, one of the themes in terms of representation that we tend to be concerned about when we talk about these things with our students and so on is, how do we represent stories without taking agency away from those who are living through these issues? So what was how did you deal with that? How did you confront those challenges in the film and in the making of the film?
Yeah, I mean, I'd originally been to Cambodia as a tourist in 2006 and was kind of travelling around the area as a backpacker and stayed on the lake when it was still a lake, and just became fascinated by the country and the history and the people, and thought that I would try to make a film about Cambodia, and so started to look for stories, ideas, whatever that I could explore that would be relevant to, I don't know, to an audience anywhere, you know, and the land rights issue came up as something that was really pertinent and was affecting, you know, more than 750,000 people in the country. And so I went back to Ireland and started to do some fundraising and got some funding. And initially the idea was to go and probably spend 3 or 6 months in the country and make a very kind of sit-down interview, social issue style documentary with, you know, some interviews from the people being affected and some interviews from the government if we could get them, and some expert analysis and some footage of protests. And like, it probably would have been a fairly one-dimensional film, and it wouldn't have given any agency whatsoever to the individuals. It would have been me parachuting in, telling a story that I'd already decided what the conclusion of it was, and then parachuting out again, basically, without taking any time to really get to know or understand the complexities of what was going on. But I mean, that was 10 years ago, and I was a bit younger and probably considerably more naive. And I met the Venerable and the people at Bangkok Lake, and it just became apparent very quickly that there was so much happening every single day. There was protests every day, there were evictions every day, people were being kicked out of their houses, or they were protesting on the streets for, you know, all day, sometimes in the sun, and they were being beaten by police. And it seemed crazy to just try and speak to these people afterwards and have them recount what had happened, when if I stayed I could be there and I could document these things as they were unfolding in real time. And so that was the beginning of a shift in terms of my approach to the film, and one where I thought, right, actually give the people here a voice and try. I mean, the film is A Cambodian Spring, it's not The Cambodian Spring, so it's subjective, you know, entirely. It's my personal portrait of Cambodia and the people that I met and the landscapes and everything that I encountered. It's not the definitive history of what happened. I don't think anyone can give a definitive account of any event. You know, there's always alternative perspectives on things that happen, and there's always a different way of looking at things, and you can see things through a different lens. And so I kind of embraced that and tried to embrace the complexity of what was in front of me and try to portray it, because that's kind of, to me, that shift signified that I would stop trying to make a film about forced evictions and make a film about people. And so it became, because that was something universal that I could relate to as a foreigner who didn't really speak the language at the time. So I started to look at what was motivating people, why they were standing up and fighting for their rights when they were faced with, you know, a totally unaccountable institution like the World Bank and an entirely corrupt government like the Cambodian government. It's very poor odds for anybody trying to fight for their housing rights. I mean, the film has elements in it which people probably aren't quite clear on, like why the division happened between Tep Vanny and Stray Cove. And it's ambiguous in the film intentionally because it's ambiguous in real life. There were a lot of different things that happened that created that division. It initially started when Tep Vanny and the whole group were in prison, and Hillary Clinton got in touch and said, I she was trying to get people out of prison, and so the only person who could speak English was Tep Vanny, and so she became the kind of unintentional, unelected leader of the group, and then her whole trajectory changed, and she started to go abroad, and she received awards on behalf of the group, and very honestly, on her part, she was just doing what she had always done, and that was activism. But other people in the group became upset about this and jealous because they felt that they weren't being represented, and that they were an entire group, not just one individual, and they felt that the agency had been taken away from them by outside forces, and this started to cause a little bit of a division amongst the group, and then the authorities and the developers got wind of this and then used it as a tactic against them, and so kind of did everything they could to kind of increase that divide between them, and they started to intimidate people, started to offer bribes and offer money and offer various different things for them to turn against them, and so the whole thing starts to kind of disintegrate and fall apart. And I felt like to oversimplify it and to not portray that and not show that quite ambiguous and complex disintegration of their solidarity would really do a total disservice to those people and take away any agency that they would have had. And I felt imperative to show that, because the message ultimately is that when you're together you can be much stronger, and that when you have solidarity as a group you're much stronger than when you are divided. Because Tep Vanny says in the film, why are you doing this? Like, this is exactly what they want. When we're fighting each other, we're not united and fighting them. And so it's portrayed that way in the film as a hope that maybe they can actually get back together as a group, because they are much more effective when they are together. But I can see the Tep Vanny cards here, so maybe there's people from Amnesty. There is, great. Vanny's in prison at the minute. She's serving a 2-year prison sentence for her activism, so there's Amnesty cards here that if people would sign them, Amnesty sends these off very regularly to Hun Sen's private residence, just to remind them that there are people out there who care about what's going on. So we would ask everybody if they would please to sign those as well. That's some small thing that people can do to help. Yeah.
Brilliant, thanks. Yeah, I'm sure there are lots of questions here. If you could introduce yourselves briefly first of all, and then...
Sure. Okay, can you hear me? Pete Latosh, member Amnesty International in Liverpool. Been to a lot of documentaries, and I have mixed feelings too. A long documentary about on Knowledge Hardy Shore. So, Venerable, it's extraordinarily good to meet you, see you. It's really to Chris. I thought it was a really compelling bit of filmmaking. I think you got in and among it and had an extraordinary eye. And your editors did an extraordinary job to put down however much hours of footage you must have had to choose from. And you told the story well. I just want to say that straight out. No big question running behind it. The story's well told. It was a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Yeah, I just want to echo that Chris has done a very good job, and thank you very much. Because I think sometimes the world needs to see it, because it was very much for the people, and you did focus. You focus on different levels, and I think it's quite nice to see the vision, because that happens everywhere. And I think you have to show the reality. But it was an excellent, excellent documentary. And if you didn't see it, United Nations is nothing without people actually seeing it. So it's all about our responsibility. And I just wanted to ask, why is Ted Vanny in prison?
Yeah.
Why is she in prison now? I mean,
she's in prison because in 2011 there was a protest, which I was at and filming actually, and the police kind of beat the crowd back. I mean, they've always been peaceful, non-violent protesters, and they've been hugely successful. So successful that NGOs have written handbooks on how to successfully be a non-violent, peaceful protester, which they give out to other communities facing forced evictions as well. The police were beating them back, and they weren't doing anything. But then years later, the courts decided to bring charges against her. I think assault and battery against the police officer who had riot shields and electric batons and things. So it's just the courts. None of the organs of state in Cambodia are independent. The courts aren't independent. There is no access to justice for people like this. They have.
film was made.
Yeah, that's why we made the film. But I mean, you can see people like that, protesters everywhere. There's people like that protesting all over this country and other countries as well. It's like it's a universal thing that happens, I think, when people want to stand up and fight for their rights, even against totally insurmountable odds.
So I'm Fiona O'Neill, and I've been to Cambodia a couple of times and love the country and the people, and very shocked by the history, of course. And it's a question to you, because the last scenes with the division and the stone throwing, and sort of shocked me really. And I know you've talked about that, about the story and the authenticity, and showing the story of the division, but so much of the genocide was about Khmer people, killing Khmer people, and I wondered if is there anything that's about that that history, that internal history that's in that story, or is that just my vivid imagination? Because I have to say, I found that last scene very shocking, and it made me think a lot about the things I saw, like in the prison, the Tulsan prison, about what happened when people start to fight each other.
Yeah. I mean, if you saw that, then I guess there are echoes. Certainly, the legacy of the Khmer Rouge kind of casts a very long, dark shadow over all of Cambodian society, and it's a unique country in that anyone over the age of about 50 has survived a genocide, either as a victim or a perpetrator, and so it's a very present thing. And I'm from Northern Ireland, which is a post-conflict society as well, which has gone through this peace and reconciliation process, which it seems like there's no hope for that kind of thing to happen in Cambodia, because it's so ingrained in the society today. We were discussing earlier about the courts, the tribunals in Cambodia, and it's impossible for those to ever have any kind of satisfying or meaningful conclusion for the Cambodian people, because the government will stop them, because so many of those people who were perpetrators are still in the government today. And so if you were a victim, the village that you live in, your neighbour was someone who would have been a perpetrator during those times, and you still have to walk past that person every single day. So there's a real deep, and I don't know how they deal with it. It's like a national trauma, and there is no kind of concept of psychotherapy and psychoanalysis and stuff in the country. So it's how that trauma is being dealt with, I don't know, and I think it's definitely present there. There is a generational difference between Srey Po and the woman Yai Mummy. So she did survive the Khmer Rouge, but the woman who threw the stone didn't. But certainly I always sensed there's an undercurrent of potential violence always in the country, and it's always there, and it's permanently present, and you can sense it and feel it during protests and stuff as well.
Thank you.
So we're actually very lucky. Sorry, Alex, I don't want to embarrass you, but we're very lucky at the University of Liverpool to have a former prosecutor from the extraordinary chambers in the courts of Cambodia, amongst our staff, who is obviously very, very vast in exactly these issues. And I saw you had a question.
I wasn't
I did your introduction.
Yes, Alex Batesmith. I work at the University of Liverpool, and I teach in transitional justice. So first of all, Okun Charan, Venerable, thank you. That was fantastic. Your performance discussion has been amazing and very powerful. And Chris, thank you very much for putting the film together. I have two questions, one for each of you, if you wouldn't, if I'll be indulged. Venerable, the first question I had of you, in the film you say the only option we have as a democratic country is to vote, is to go to the election. Yeah. And you've explained to us that next month there will be the elections in Cambodia, but with no opposition, because the government has disbanded, prohibited the opposition. The question I have for you is, what sense do you have of resistance in Cambodia? Because what you demonstrated in the film was a group of people, a small group of people, getting together, banding together in the face of extreme power. And what you just described to us in your address a few moments ago was the power of the mobile phone and the power of immediate visibility. So my question, first of all, to you, Venerable, is what is the future of resistance in Cambodia? And the second question, Chris, if I can ask you, is obviously this film was made some years ago, or finished some years ago. You're obviously going round now, several years after the incidents that you were filming. I don't know too much about filmmaking, but did you have a message when you made the film, and have the events of the last 2 years in Cambodia, where the political situation has got so much more difficult, changed the message that you hope to deliver to the people that watch it? Sorry, that was a too long question.
Yeah, as you know, in Cambodia, we always want to change, but we change from, from the vote. This is the best, our choice to choose it. Because in Cambodia, the Khmer people, they still afraid about politics. Not only now, but long times ago, always the government, the ruling party, they use politics to threaten, threaten people. They regard the people that speaking about human rights, democracy, social justice, or politics, always they threaten. Sometimes parents threaten to children when they speaking about the situation in politics. Parents threaten, oh, don't speak, calm down, silent. Teacher threaten to the student in the school. The ministry of the education threaten to the teacher, all the school, don't speak politics in the school. So always threaten like this, and because of the Khmer people, especially the old people, very afraid. Because they across many regime, violent regime, civil war, and also not so good not good study also, and not so strong. But for the young generation, young people, they strong. They know clearly about the society, about politics, and the young people not support the ruling party because they want to change. Because the leader, 33 years ago, not change, same. Speak every day, crazy every day. Never speak about education. Always speak about violence. Threaten, crackdown, arrested, killing, like this, like that. And Cambodia is a Buddhism. Buddhism will not support violent leader. But because of politics, they are afraid. So like this, that they choose to change from the vote, because vote is silent. Vote is a secret. They don't know who vote for this party, those party, no. If they know Cambodia, if they know, for example, if they know you is an opposition party, you is opposition party, not easy to live with, not easy to make a business. If you have a business, bankruptcy. Why? They crack down. Sometimes they accuse, like this, like that, crack down, everything. So because of the threaten, they limit the right of the citizen, right of the people, right of the freedom of expression, right of the politics like this, Cambodia, people they're still afraid. Only, only the activists that's strong. For example, me is an activist. So,
Yeah.
activist we know already, and we can speak, we can do things like this. We can face too many obstacles. Although they arrested, although they killing, although they make violence. So this is no choice to choose, because if we don't give up our power, our solidarity, our knowledge to help the nation, to help the people, how can we change? So like this, one person, no one person stand up, how can 100% to stand up, 1,000 to stand up? But right now it's not all to stand up, only activists. So like this, that always they are arrested or they crack down activists. For example, Mrs. Tewani and Bangkok Lake, what they accused. This is not the first time, third time in the prison. The last charge relating to the color revolution. They accuse us when we speak, when we protest about land right like this, like that, they accuse group of color revolution like this. They accuse like this. So like this, the government they said that, oh, I'm to get a successful to crack down the color revolution. What color revolution? Because people not protest like the revolution to change, but they just go to vote for change already, and vote for change, color revolution. And independent media just film like this, color revolution, and monk just blessing. Oh, stop violence, oh, calm down like this, color revolution. And right now, because they said, the government is saying that because to save the peace, to save democracy, to save human rights in Cambodia, need to crack down color revolution. The government, they published the one book, white book, they write detail about color revolution, activist monk, use smartphone, social media, this is group monk of color revolution. Land right community. For example, in Bangkok, why they arrested Tewani, detained in the prison? Because the people in Bangkok, they advocate to release the five people from the prison that the government arrested. All of them is the president of NGO, human rights NGO. And then the community in Bangkok, they trace the flag, because they arrest on Sunday. On Monday, they arrest on Monday, and then the people, Khmer people, always Monday is a flag dress, and then they use the flag robe, flag clothes to advocacy from the Bangkok Lake community to release, to free the 5 person, lawyer, president, or the human rights NGO worker from the prison, and then they accuse this is black color revolution and we red color revolution and smartphone color revolution. Always they accuse revolution. So like this, only because of they destroy, they crack down like this, the Khmer people not so strong to protest. Only 1 or 2 or 3% they crack down all right now. And only the Cambodia, we choose only from the vote, very easy to change. Because we change already. Change start from 93 until 2013. 2017 is a big change, 100%. And 2018 is there a law opposition party to join vote, 100% maybe. So like this, the ruling party, they cheat. So what is democracy? This is look like the war. It's not the weapon war, but this is the corruption war, the dictator war, and the voter war also, because we vote for who? For this political party, but when they win politics already, why kill them? Not only kill the name of opposition party, they kill the people voter, a middle of the Khmer people, a half of the Khmer people around in Cambodia, they vote for opposition party. So right now they kill over 3 million voter voice of the opposition party. So like this, in Khmer Rouge regime, they kill human. Over 3 million people killed. But right now they kill the voter voice, voter right of the Khmer people, over 3 million also. Because in 2017, over 3 million people vote for opposition party. They have 55 seats in the National Assembly, and the commune and district over 500 seats. Right now they destroy all. One day they delete opposition party, and then they take the seat from the National Assembly, give to another political party, then not win vote election. Not win vote election, but have a seat. What democracy like this? So I can tell you only, Cambodia, only free and fair election, transparency from international country, look like 93, organized by United Nations. United Nations very crazy also. They organize the national vote election, free and fair election. And we vote change already, but why kill, why not control the win election for the opposition party? Why? And then they go out. When they go out, who have power, still ruling party, because they have army, they have weapon. And United Nations just organize, who win, opposition win, one win, kill the win, and then go away. Not keep, not hear the opposition party. Because opposition party, no weapon, no army, only ruling party they have. So like this, how can we win? We win only the paper, only the result. But how can we win? Because they have weapon, they have army, they have everything. So like this should be international country. Go to save democracy in Cambodia again and prepare free and fair election up to the people. When the people vote for who, we can have to keep. So win like this, so Cambodia very, very easy to change. No violence, no protest, demonstration. Yeah, but can change very easy.
Your question about the film. Yeah, we've stopped filming in October 2015, and actually the last shot in the film is the last thing I ever shot. I kind of, once Draco turned her head away from the camera, I knew that the story was finished. And I mean, the focus for me changed, during the filmmaking process, and it started to be about trying to make a film about universal truths and universal values that would resonate kind of anywhere, so outside of the Cambodian context, and so that it would be relevant to people, anywhere in the developing world or anywhere. The backdrop is Cambodia and the Cambodian context is there, but it's really more about understanding who these people are and what it is that they're fighting against. So, because I think we, or people who are involved in activism in the UK, are fighting against very similar institutions and very similar power structures, and so those things transfer kind of anywhere really, and that was something that I tried very hard to do. So obviously it's very nice to have all of the loose ends tied up, and we did try to do that in the film as well. So Tep Vanny is still a protester. The Venerable is, although she's in prison, the Venerable is still carrying on with his activism, and Stray Po is still at home with their kids. So nothing there has changed. At the end of the film, the opposition took a deal and kind of shook hands with the devil. And I mean, we imply throughout the film that Hun Sen is the one pulling all of the strings, which is the case, and that is still the case today. Obviously, unfortunately, things like the media climate and the shutting down of the newspapers and all that kind of stuff, there's a lot of things that have changed since the end of the filming up until now, but it's just a move even further towards the totalitarian state that the country has always kind of been. But not democracy has only ever been a kind of sham veneer that they put over what's essentially, you know, a fairly totalitarian autocratic state. So that was kind of, I hope that when you watch the film, you get a deep understanding of what the power structures are at play within the Cambodian context, and also how they are relevant to people outside of Cambodia, like ourselves.
Thank you.
So I know that there are other questions, but I've just been told that there's another screening in here, I'm afraid.
Well, we'll be
So,
outside. We can hang
yeah,
around outside.
maybe you can catch them outside. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank you, Chris, and thank the Venerable as well, and thank FACT also for putting this on. And if you'll join me in another round of applause.